KTRH News Time is 6:47, and a big win for Newt Gingrich in South Carolina. Very interesting, and it was, frankly, CNN and ABC that handed him that big win.
Every person in here knows personal pain. Every person in here has had someone close to them go through painful things. To take an ex-wife and make it 2 days before the primary a significant question in a presidential campaign is as close to despicable as anything I can imagine.
And what's interesting is the American people agreed with Newt Gingrich, or at least South Carolinians certainly agreed with Newt Gingrich, and overwhelmingly voted for him in the primary over Mitt Romney. And when I say overwhelmingly, I mean he had almost 40% of the vote. Romney coming in behind him, I think it was 19%, if I'm not mistaken. But at any rate, it was a huge win for the Gingrich campaign and a devastating blow for Mitt Romney, who will now tomorrow release his taxes. And if you recall, he pushed back from that quite a bit during the debate. Joining me right now, live from South Carolina, is South Carolina State Representative Peter McCoy. He's traveling with the Gingrich campaign. Pete, you guys got to be ecstatic this morning.
We are very ecstatic. That was a big win this weekend, and definitely momentum is moving into Florida, so we're fired up about it.
Now, let me ask you this. I believe that it was ABC. And, you know, that whole rolling out of Marianne Gingrich, that, quite frankly, I believe galvanized many of the voters who were undecided. They just thought that, and the question that John King asked at the very beginning of the debate, they thought that was terrible. They thought it was despicable like Gingrich, loved his response, and that's what drew them to his side.
I think you're absolutely right. I would probably hinge on the debate performance here and John King's question as more of a catalyst, but I think that you're right. I think the ABC portrayal of Marianne Gingrich kind of put him in a position of being victimized by the media, and therefore skyrocketed him, you know, into the numbers that he got here in South Carolina on Saturday.
And just devastated John King, and believe me, I am not upset about that. I've never liked that guy.
You and me both.
Never liked that guy. All right, Peter, if you would hang on just 1 second. When we come back, I want to talk about what takes place now in Florida. They've already begun early voting in some of the counties in Florida. South Carolina State Representative Peter McCoy joining us from South Carolina. He is traveling with the Gingrich campaign. All right, do we roll out ex-wife number one, do you think, Peter, and maybe get her, over the course of the next 10 days to do something with ABC so that he's got a little juice in Florida? What do you think?
I think just like we discussed on Friday, once somebody gets on top of the polls, there's no telling who's going to come after him. So I don't know what's going to unroll next.
But he is ready for Florida, I'm sure. Money coming in, is he noticing a lot more people supporting the campaign?
He is, and that's been a big push since he did win South Carolina. I know within 24 hours they raised over, I think it's $1.2 million, and then they went up another 2,000 volunteers in Florida. And just like you mentioned earlier before the break, too, I mean, I know they've already started early voting in Florida big time. I know over 200,000 people have already voted down there.
And I suppose that's good because he's riding a wave of popularity coming out of South Carolina. If you've got early voting going on in some of the counties in Florida, I assume that they're probably caught up in that.
I would think that would play in our favor just because of the way that South Carolina has played out and just in terms of the momentum that he's built up from the two debates that happened here that just got nationwide attention. So I would think that the early voting that did start down there would fall on our side.
South Carolina State Representative Peter McCoy joining us this morning. Peter, you have been fantastic. Thank you for your time. We certainly do appreciate it.
Absolutely. Love talking to you all. Hope I get to talk to you soon.
Oh, we'll keep calling you. I just like the way Peter enjoys being on the radio with us.